the world situation in which we are right now in Slovakia, it has started in March 2018, actually during the end of February, when everybody saw in media that a young journalist, investigative journalist, was murdered, and also with his fiancée. And crimes such like this was a direct attack on our democracy at all, and it was on us as on citizens and on our whole country how we will react to it. And these weeks, actually right now it is something about 9 to 10 weeks, so it is the proof that Slovakia is a young democratic country. We have just 25 years, but we became something like an adult democratic country. We are just learning what it all means, you know, democracy and all, that we have our rights and we have to protect them. So democracy isn't just something which is like permanently here, and it isn't something sustainable. And if we want to live in a country which is democratic and with every rights and which we have now and so on, so we have to stand for them. And people show that they don't want to live in a country where journalists are killed based on their work, and where people have to be afraid of what they're doing, where farmers aren't treated well, where where politicians are like just showing their attitude in a way that you can see the arrogance of the power and not work for people. So I think that the key for the whole thing, that people came to the gatherings and that it was like the biggest thing ever in Slovakia, that never before that many people came to the streets, is that people realize that in which part of maybe our history are right now, and it is just based on us and on them, like what end of the day we want to have here and how we will stand for it. I would say that like the biggest feeling I have there is like the responsibility, maybe, that the people came for the idea and not like for us as a people, and it's the responsibility to not just till the gathering ends, but also afterwards to do as much as you can for doing a good job. And it is like also some kind of funny situation happens during these gatherings. For example, once there was one guy in the crowd, and it was really close to the stage. And when we came to the stage, me and Juraj, so he showed me that there was one guy with a transparent with our names together, that we are corrupted or something like that. It was something really we didn't really expect it, so it was something like okay, like it was like really in front of our eyes. So it is like something like okay, like it's their opinion, unfortunately, if one can say, because it's not based on anything anything real. It is a big emotion and like a big responsibility, and also before, you know, making the speeches and making the world dramaturgy and all like it's so many people in this. However, yes, there are also these situations sometimes, mostly afterwards, but they are. The question I asked myself when it all happened was like, I want to, in what kind of country I want to live in, and if I want to live in a country when things such like this happen, and or if I want to have a difference here, and if I want to have a difference here, so who should do it for me? Like nobody, so I should do something. You don't think about these things in a situation like that, because the question I was standing from was that in what kind of country I want to live in, if I want to live in a country where journalists are killed, and if I want to raise kids here sometime, someone, or so on. So, and if not, which was my answer for that, so who would change it? Like who should do it, or who should do what? So this is something when when I felt, you know, the responsibility for that. So if I want to live in a country which is different, so I should try to make a difference, because nobody would do it for me. We do live in a world of information and in a world, you know, of smartphones, and everybody of us, I do think that most of the people have Facebook and their messengers, and most of their communication is just through these applications. However, on the end of the day, it is right when you're dealing with so many things, also us as the organizers of these protests and gatherings in Slovakia. So, for example, the face-to-face dialogue is the most important one, because you can get to know the people like in a real person, like their real emotions about the whole thing, about how do they really see the whole problem at all. So, for example, in Slovakia, the gatherings weren't as in Bratislava, but it was like something one can say nationwide. So we had several meetings with the organizers of the gatherings in their towns across Slovakia, and still, although we are communicating with them like daily on Facebook mostly, so these meetings with them, it is just something completely different, and solving the problems and also like getting the points of another, for example, perspectives, or another even maybe opinions and so on. So it is most productive just like in the face-to-face dialogue.